Hello there, my very good friends. On this wrestling news video, we have great news for fans of LA Knight. WWE Raw hits a new Netflix low. We've got the reaction to WWE pulling wrestlers from the indies. And on top of that, an update on WWE's tape library once the Peacock deal expires. I'm Andy H. Murray. The H stands for home again. And this is the news. If you missed the updates we've had over the past couple of days, if you're wondering why I'm sitting in front of my blooming bookshelf, it's because we are in the middle of a studio move, so bear with us for the next couple of days. Back on Monday, everything should hopefully be back to normal. I apologise for the gloominess in here as well. It's a miserable day here in the northeast of England, as it frequently is here sometimes, especially in December. Anyway, you're here for the news, so let's talk about LA Knight, right? Okay, good. Bodyslam.net have a report here on this man, his push, which has been a big subject of debate over the past few months. And I'm just going to read it to you straight up to start. Sources indicate that 2026 will be a much better year for LA Knight. He is still very much a top player for WWE. The company is aware of the reactions and they want to play the long game with Knight. So that's probably quite encouraging for a lot of people. I know there has been a lot of discussion on certain losses he has taken and certain opportunities that others have maybe had that LA Knight's fans felt that he should have had, and that's understandable that would arise. The guy is extremely popular. He's got the great catchphrases that you can play along with the crowd, all of that stuff. His work's good. He's a fantastic promo. I mean, he's always been a fantastic promo, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, output-wise, he's had a good year, for sure. I think that the contention for a lot of people is that they maybe see him as a world title level wrestler. And perhaps that is something that will come in 2026, even though it's not explicitly stated in this report here. So personally, I think that LA Knight's had a really good year. And I think that his push has been fine across the board. I mean, he made it to the finals of the Last Time Is Now tournament. And yeah, he's not been a world champion, but I don't necessarily think you need to be a world champion to be well pushed. And there are only so many seats at the top table in WWE. There are 2 at any given time. And this is a company that prefers longer world title reigns these days, which means fewer people get the chance to hold the belt. So, kind of understand the situation, but look, you might as well try, right? You might as well try and push this guy a little bit harder. He is so over. He's done a good job with everything they've given him in his WWE run. He even tried to make the most of Max Dupree, for goodness sake, and a lot of people, that would have been the end for them, but it speaks to the charismatic power of LA Knight that he has held on. And look, one thing that maybe goes unsaid about LA Knight a little bit often is actually, I think, like in the ring, he's a really solid wrestler. In the past, when he was Eli Drake in other places like TNA and the NWA, it was often said that he was a far better promo than he was a worker. And yeah, he probably is still a better promo than he is a wrestler. But I don't think there's a massive gap between the two. So he's very pushable. He's over like hell. The merch probably flies out, right? Like, I mean, who doesn't want, if you're an LA Knight fan, you've almost certainly got a t-shirt that says yeah across it. And we'll just have to see what comes of it. I think that if they are playing the long game with him, he's not the youngest dude in the world. So I don't think this is going to be some like slow burning 5-year push or anything like that, but maybe we'll see him in that world title picture in 2026. We saw Jey Uso in it this year, right? And I would say that LA Knight is a far better singles wrestler than Jey, who I do respect a lot. So yeah, you might as well, man. You might as well. There is very little to lose at this point. It's WWE, they're huge. It's not like it's going to harm their business. Try it. If it works, phenomenal. You've crowned a new top level star. If it doesn't work, that's fine. You can just move on. Before you move on, check out our wrestling awards. Click that link in the description below. These are open until Sunday. They are entirely voted for by you. We are not deciding the winners. You guys are. We've had a phenomenal response so far. The form is right there. Fill it out. We got Wrestler of the Year, Match of the Year, Best Moment, Worst Moment, Biggest Disappointment, Promotion of the Year. There's about 15 of them in total. And we'll be doing a video on them on the 21st of December where you can see your winners and who you voted for and all of that stuff. Let's move on to something a bit more negative now. Let's talk about WWE Raw on Netflix, which has fallen out for the first time in the show's history. It's fallen out of the top 10 rankings for the week worldwide for English language TV shows for the second consecutive week, which is interesting. So typically these numbers are like a week behind. The ratings come out via Netflix's To Doom, that noise. That's the name of their website. They come out on there every Tuesday, and they're usually a week behind because it's a full week of numbers, right? Which differs from traditional Nielsen ratings, which are usually just live and same day. This is a full week, and it's around the world. So it means that the number is, for Raw that's reported in this top 10 is much higher than SmackDown is on TV, but they are completely different measurements. So of course it is. It's around the world. But Voices of Wrestling, the flagship podcast, had a little write-up on this on their Patreon, which just pointed out a few interesting things. The main one being that now, and we kind of knew this already, but now these past 2 weeks of Raw, the numbers, the ratings, the viewerships are lost forever, because Netflix doesn't provide viewership information unless that show is in the top 10. So if you fall out of the top 10, we don't know how many people are watching. Now, this is, depending on your perspective, this is either a good or bad thing. For me, it's a bad thing because I like analyzing the trends and the business of pro wrestling, and I'm interested in that kind of thing. If you don't care about numbers, you probably don't. You won't give a hoot about this. And if you actively hate numbers and business and reporting and stuff like that, you're probably giving a thumbs up right now because it's not there. So we should say that these episodes, it's the 24th of November episode and the 1st of December. So not this week's. Both of those have been missing. Stranger Things is the main reason here. I mean, this week, the new season just dominated the global top 10. 23.6 million views around the world, and people catching up. The other seasons are ranked there as well, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So yeah, Stranger Things is whipping ass. This week there was also a big documentary series launched about Sean Combs, which was second and did really well. 21.8 million views. So the reason the WWE fell out was because people would rather watch these shows. Now, Raw on Netflix in 2025 has done an average of 2.8 million global views a week. You can compare that to what they were doing previously on USA Network and say, hey, that's more. But yeah, again, it's around the world and it's over 7 days. So it's a completely different metric, and they are difficult to compare. Some people like Dave Meltzer have formulated calculations and stuff to estimate how many people are watching live +1 in the USA, but there's no definitive way of telling unless Netflix come forward with the numbers. Either way, Netflix, they've got this deal for 5 years. It's a 10-year deal if they don't exercise an opt-out clause. So, hey, look, it's not like WWE's going anywhere on Netflix. And as a viewer, I like it being there because it means it's like a hub. If you're here in the UK, it's a big hub. We've got all the WWE shows on there, including PLEs. So it means I don't have to fart around with different TV channels and subscriptions and all of that nonsense during the week. So for me, positive. Anyway, let's talk about Leon Slater. Interesting name coming into the Saturday Night's Main Event fold this weekend. It was announced on Raw that he will be teaming up with Javon Evans, who he has interacted with heavily in NXT and TNA, and they'll be facing Dragon Lee and AJ Styles at Saturday Night's Main Event. This has caused a bit of a kerfuffle, shall we say, a few rambunctions on the indie scene, because as a consequence of this WWE appearance, Leon had to pull out of events for WXW in Germany and RevPro here in the UK. Now, Fightful Select have an update on the reaction to all of this. Previously, WXW had cited scheduling issues, which I guess is accurate. But sources have said that while the promotion is aware that Leon obviously keeps a very busy schedule, the weekend's appearance was agreed back in March, which is a long time ago. The promotion had been working around Leon's TNA dates, which is his home promotion, to get this booking, basically. And it was noted, however, that Slater is generally a positive and helpful guy. Back in WXW, including during his previous appearance. After the announcement on Raw, some people Fightful asked some sources about this situation, and it was noted that it's kind of what WXW expected, but they would have preferred WWE to give them a bit of a heads up about the appearance rather than putting Leon in an unfortunate situation, which is very fair. Apparently WXW, they view this upcoming weekend as one of the biggest of the year, so yeah, if you're losing a named talent, that's gonna suck for them, obviously. Fightful actually spoke to a few TNA sources as well. They were very positive about Leon and getting this spot and things like that. And they said it was another example of the WWE TNA relationship continuing. There were no comments on the situation from Rev Pro. So, yeah, I mean, this is the kind of thing that always happens when major promotions have clashes with indie dates. A lot of the time, it isn't really dialogue or anything like that. It isn't few months in advance, hey, we would like this wrestler, he's booked for your show, can we work something out? Usually it's like, no, we're taking, you know, we're the big dogs, we're taking them, and you can deal with it in the aftermath, which is rough, but it's how the wrestling business works. I mean, it's a microcosm of business in general. Big dog eat little dog in these situations. But look, I'm very happy for Leon Slater to be receiving these opportunities. He's a very young dude, early 20s, and one of the brightest young talents to emerge in wrestling over the past few years. Not even, I mean, I don't even need a caveat by going one of the best British talents. He's just one of the best talents. Javon Evans is in that bracket as well, so it's going to be really cool seeing them team up against AJ Styles. Both of them have said that AJ is a dream match for them, and you put an absolute dynamite wrestler like Dragon Lee in there as well. It's going to be great. This whole Saturday night's main event card is absolutely fantastic. It's phenomenal from top to bottom. I really like the direction they've gone with it. I really like the idea of putting more established people against younger people from NXT or TNA, in Leon Slater's case, and seeing how they fare. And of course, the John Cena retirement match against Gunther in the main event. So to me, like as a wrestling fan, I'm super excited for this. As a person who has to analyze this stuff for a living, yeah, it's a bummer for WXW, and I'm sure Rev Pro as well. But ultimately, Leon Slater is going. I mean, he's going to end up working for WWE at some point in the not too distant future, right? I mean, this deal has been. He's crossed over multiple times as a result of this deal, and you'd imagine that when his contract's up, the Fed will be like, "Yes, please come over and work here." It'll be nothing less than what he deserves. He's worked very hard. He's a very talented dude. I'm very happy for him on a professional level. We've interviewed him on the channel before. He's a lovely, lovely man, and yeah, I hope that this didn't cause too many problems between him and WXW and other places. Hopefully it wasn't too messy. It would be nice, however, if the big dogs every now and then just said, hey, let's work something out, rather than just going yoink and taking them away. Hey, who am I? All right, let's talk now, finally, about the WWE tape library. We're talking about the archive content, all the old stuff that used to provide so much value on WWE Network and still currently does on Peacock. Fightful had an update on this the other day, talking about what happens when the Peacock deal expires. That's happening in late 2025, 2026. WWE content will no longer be on that platform. It'll be moved elsewhere, I guess. But we obviously know already that the PLEs were on, ESPN in the USA. So yeah, that'll be a big change. That'll be a big change indeed. Now, a lot of people, especially old heads like me, are probably wondering, hey, what's going to happen to all my beloved old content? What's going to happen to Mid-South and Crockett and World Class and all that old stuff I like to watch? Well, we got an update on that. Apparently, people expect this to slowly, according to Fightful Select, be rolled out on YouTube and the various vault channels that WWE already has in place. So apparently, because of the size of WWE's footprint on YouTube, there is a belief that they have a special deal in place with Google when it comes to this stuff. Probably quite lucrative for them. But it's not expected that WWE will just upload everything at once, the entire library. Apparently they are quite happy, with the buzz that their vault channels get and the return they receive for them. Also internally, they view it as a way to cultivate new fans and stuff like that. So no changes to the vault that Fightful have been told of, but there is the possibility of more content coming onto those channels. So apparently, Fightful sources, including people who've been in the company for years, they believe that the library just wasn't as big a draw as they thought it would be when it was launched in the first place. While it was a big drawing point initially for people signing up and stuff like that, and it was a great thing to have on Peacock as like a little bonus, here's your extra content, on its own, it probably wasn't going to get a big rights fee deal. And another source commented that if they get an offer for the library that makes sense, that's big enough, they'll reserve the right to take it with to take the deal with the YouTube methods also in effect. So to me, this is a bummer. This is a real bummer to me because I love the vault. From going by this report, it sounds very much like I'm in the minority. But if you're an older wrestling fan, it's really cool having all of this stuff just available at your fingertips and being able to access it instantly. I think the WWE Network is one of the best things to ever happen to wrestling, honestly. I really miss it. I really miss the network, man. It was such a great platform and you could access so much from it. And it's a real shame that some of this footage will now go by the wayside. There will be fewer ways to access this stuff unless you're a little demon with your various other methods, shall we say. So yeah, it's a bit of a bummer. It's a bit of a sucker. I like the convenience of the network when it was here with us, and I'm sure that this will be, the old heads on Peacock who watch WWE on Peacock will be bummed out about it too. But if it's a business decision and they don't see the value in just having it out there, archiving it and making it publicly available, if it's purely driven by financials and they're not getting a good offer for it and it's not a big draw for most people, I understand the decision to do it, obviously. Just a bit of a shame. I mean, I love sitting there and watching 1986 Jim Crockett week by week. It's some of the best stuff of all time, and it's really cool as like a time capsule. But hey, there's no market for it anymore, and I'm just an old fogey. So thank you for joining me today on this news video. Back with one of these tomorrow again. Check out the John Cena news that I recorded earlier. Actually recorded it last night, but it was on the channel earlier. You'll enjoy that too, and I'll see you soon. Bye.